There has to be something, anything. I can't let this happen. His voice cracks slightly, betraying his emotions. He quickly picks up his phone and dials a number. As soon as you leave Jungkook's office, you can feel the tears stinging your eyes, but you refuse to let them fall. Not here. Your legs carry you quickly down the hallway until you find the bathroom. Once inside, you lock the door, leaning against the cold tile wall for a moment as you try to catch your breath. Walking toward the mirror, you can't hold it back anymore. Tears stream down your face as you stare at your reflection. Your eyes red and filled with pain. You feel hollow, the guilt gnawing at you from the inside. You have let him down. His dream project, something he worked on so passionately for 6 months, now feels ruined because of your failure. I messed up. I ruined everything. You whispered to yourself while clutching the sink. The words break you even more, and your sobs echo in the empty bathroom. The weight of his disappointment presses down on you, and all you can think about is the look in his eyes, the way that flicker of hope died the moment you told him you had found nothing. You feel like you have lost more than just his trust. You have lost the part of the image he had of you, the person he relied on, and the thought that crushes you. Dex, what did you find? Did you come across anything unusual? He asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Dex nods, his gaze unwavering. Yes, boss, there is something off. I was going through the security footage, like you asked, and I noticed that some footage was missing right before the meeting. It's like someone intentionally cut it out. Jungkook's heart skips a beat. His instincts had been right. Something was mysterious. What do you mean missing? He pressed, his voice sharp with urgency. It's just gone. Everything is there up until a few minutes before the meeting started. Then nothing. Whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing. Jungkook's jaw tightens, his frustration bubbling just beneath the surface. Someone tampered with the footage. This is official. No one has access to it. Who would dare to do something like this? He stands up abruptly, his mind racing to figure out who could be behind it. Turning towards Dex, his eyes are sharp with determination. We need to find out who is responsible. Go do some research, talk to the surveillance team, ask them if there is any way to recover their deleted footage, anything at all. Dex shakes his head slightly, hesitating before he responds. Boss, deleted footage can't be recovered. It's gone for good. Jungkook's fist clenched in frustration. He can't let it end like this. Not for you, not for anyone. Still, we have to do something. We can't just let this go. I can't let this happen to Van. Whoever did this, they are trying to ruin Van, but I won't let them ruin her. Jungkook is no longer just fighting for his project. He is fighting for you, for your reputation, and for the truth. After what felt like an hour in the bathroom, you finally gather enough strength to face the reality. Wiping away the remaining tears, you turn to your desk. Your heart is happy with disappointment. Slowly you begin packing your things, each item a painful reminder of the work, effort, and trust that now seems lost. Tears continue to fall despite your attempts to hold them back. What you don't know is that Jungkook is watching everything from the security camera in his office. His eyes fixed on the screen and his heart pounds as he sees you, broken and hurt, packing your things. His jaw tightens and he clenches his fist so hard that his knuckles turn white. Watching you suffer like this, he feels something deep inside him stir. He makes a promise to himself in the moment. I will give you your position back within a day with all the respect you deserve. Jungkook mutters under his breath. The sight of you in pain does something to him. He had not realized until now how much it would hurt him to see tears in your eyes. He can't stand it. As you finish packing and take one last look at the desk that once felt like home, just as you are about to leave, a few employees approach, their expressions filled with curiosity and concern. Did you find anything? One of them asked hesitantly, their eyes searching your face for some glimmer of hope. Athena is the team leader of the first department. No, I didn't find anything. Maybe it was my own mistake. Maybe I missed something. You said quietly while shaking your head. Your words are laced with guilt, the weight of self-blame sinking deeper into your chest. The employees exchange uncertain glances, their faces showing sympathy. One of them steps forward and says softly, "You are moving to the third department, right? We heard about it. We will miss you." Their kindness only makes it harder to hold back the tears threatening to spill over again. You offer a weak smile, nodding. "I'll miss you guys too," you say, though your voice trembles with the effort of keeping yourself together. As they offered words of support and farewell, you walked away to the third department, your head lowered in defeat. All the employees watched your retreating figure with a pang of sadness, but someone from them smirks in victory watching you going away. Jungkook is still watching you through the security camera in his office. His helplessness hits him like a punch to the gut. He curses under his breath, anger and frustration bubbling up inside him. He is the CEO, yet he feels powerless watching you leave. He can't let it in like this, not for you. But right now, he doesn't have the answers, and that only fuels his desperation. He grabs his phone and dials the number of the third department manager. His fingers are trembling with urgency. The manager picks up on the second ring, his voice calm and professional. "Yes, Mr. John, how can I assist you?" Jungkook didn't waste a second. "Listen closely. You have just had my secretary transferred to your department. Make sure she doesn't face any issue. No problems, no obstacles, nothing. Understood?" he says, his voice is sharp but filled with protective edge. There is a slight pause on the other end. The manager clearly sensed the intensity behind Jungkook's words. "But why is Miss Kim transferring here?" "Just do what you are asked." "Okay, Mr. John. I will make sure everything goes smoothly." Jungkook exhales, but the frustration and helplessness still simmer inside him. He wants to. "Good. She's been through enough already. I will hold you personally responsible if anything goes wrong." The manager sensed Jungkook's distress, so he quickly reassures him. "Mr. John, please, don't worry. I will make sure she is treated with the utmost respect. She won't face any issue under my watch." Jungkook exhales slowly, his grip on the phone loosens slightly. "Thank you. Just make sure nothing happens to her. She's important to this company and to me." He whispered the last part to himself. Jungkook's heart aches with the helplessness of the situation. He knows he can't control everything, but he won't rest until he finds a way to set things right. He won't let anyone else cause you pain. Jungkook is trying to focus on the work. Just then, Athena walks into his office with a bright smile, her heels clicking softly on the floor. "Good morning, sir. I have been appointed as your new secretary." Jungkook, who had been lost in his work, looks up while frowning. He stands up abruptly, the irritation clear on his face. "I didn't appoint you," he says firmly, his tone leaving no room for discussion. Athena sighs slightly but maintains her composure. "The president appointed me, sir." Jungkook's eyes darken as he steps away from his desk. "I don't care who appointed you. I don't need a secretary. Leave," he said in a cold tone. He can't imagine anyone else sitting where you once sat, handling the task that you so diligently cared for. No one could replace you, not to him. Before Athena can say anything else, the door swings open and the president Namjoon storms in, his face flushed with anger. "Jungkook, you are going to accept Athena as your secretary, and that's final," he shouted. Even though Namjoon is Jungkook's elder brother, yet he doesn't flinch. "I refuse. I don't need anyone else. No one can take Wyan's place," he says coldly, but Namjoon's face reddens with fury. "You need a talented secretary, not someone like Wyan who messed everything up." His words are laced with disdain, the insult hanging heavily in the air. Jungkook's anger flares instantly, his body tensing. He steps forward, eyes blazing with fury. "Don't you dare talk about her like that again, Young. She didn't mess up anything. If there's anyone to blame, it's whoever who sabotaged this project. I will find them, but don't you ever speak about her that way again." The room falls into a tense silence, but both men standing rigid. He doesn't care if his own Hyung is standing in front of him. No one gets to speak ill of you. "Whatever you say, Jungkook. But Athena is your secretary and that's final. There is no choice." His tone leaves no room for argument, clearly setting his decision in stone. Jungkook's frustration boils over. He glares at Namjoon, his voice sharp and unyielding. "Do whatever you want, Hyung, but remember this. No one can replace Wyan. I won't accept anyone else," he says fiercely. His words are laden with defiance, a clear message that he holds his ground no matter the consequences. Jungkook sits at his desk, his hands resting on the keyboard as he stares blankly at the documents in front of him. No matter how hard he tries, he can't focus. His mind keeps drifting back to you. He glances up at the security camera feed, a habit he has developed without even realizing it. And there you are, sitting at your new desk in the third department, working quietly. The sadness etched on your face is unmistakable, and it cuts through him like a knife. He can see your eyes don't carry their usual spark. His heart aches, the guilt settling even deeper in his chest. Jungkook sighs heavily, rubbing his temples in an attempt to shake off the weight pressing down on him. Without thinking, he calls out, "Wyan, bring me some coffee." He freezes the moment your name escapes his lips, the familiar routine slipping out unconsciously. The silence that follows only deepens the ache in his chest as the reality sinks in. You are no longer his secretary. "I miss her," he mutters under his breath, his hand clenching slightly as the realization stings even more. Just as the words leave his mouth, Athena walks in, having heard him call out. "Sir, you called?" Jungkook's gaze flickers to her. He shakes his head slightly, trying to cover the slip. "It's nothing," he replies shortly. while standing up from his chair. Are you sure you don't need anything? I heard you asking for coffee. Jungkook lets out a quiet sigh, trying to mask his frustration. He looks at her briefly before shaking his head. I don't need anything from you. I can get coffee by myself. Jungkook stands up and walks past her. The thought of someone else trying to fill your role feels wrong to him. Athena clenches her fist, frustration bubbling up inside her. Unable to hold back her irritation, she stomps her feet on the floor. What has that done to him? She mutters under her breath. It infuriates her, and the way he called out your name instead of hers only fuels her frustration further. As you walk down the hallway toward Jungkook's office, the files your manager asked you to deliver clutched in your hands, you mentally prepare yourself. You have not seen him up close since the transfer, and part of you is nervous about the brief encounter. Just as you reach the door and are about to knock, Athena suddenly steps in front of you, blocking your way. Where are you going? She asks, her tone sharp, her eyes narrowing slightly as they flicker towards the files in your hands. My manager asked me to deliver these files to Mr. John. You explained, holding up the documents. Athena crosses her arms, her expression hardening. You can't go in. Boss is busy, give me the files, and I will hand them to him. Something about her attitude rubs the wrong way. You straighten up and ask, okay, but why are you stopping me from going into his office? Her smirk widens and she tilts her head as if enjoying the moment. Oh, don't you know? I'm Mr. Jeon's secretary now, so you will have to go through me. The words hit you harder than you expected, but you keep your composure. Your chest tightens slightly, but you hand over the files, knowing there is no point in making a scene. You simply nod, keeping your face neutral. You turned to go but halted on your steps on hearing her. Jungkook himself appointed me as his secretary, she says, her tone laced with smugness. You stop, but don't immediately turn around, her words sinking in slowly. The idea that Jungkook would personally appoint someone else stings more than you'd like to admit. A part of you wants to brush it off, but there is a knot of doubt tightening in your chest. Don't you find something suspicious about that? She asked with an evil smirk. You take a steadying breath before slowly turning back to face her. Suspicious? Why would I? If he appointed you, then that's his decision. Athena raises an eyebrow, her smirk still firmly in place. Are you sure about that? She asked, a hint of challenge in her voice. It's for the best. He deserves someone who can handle things without mistakes. I hope you live up to that. You turned around and walked away. As you make your way down the hallway, Athena suddenly steps in front of you, blocking your path. Her face is unreadable. What now, Athena? It's such a pity that the footage of right before the meeting is missing. Your eyes widened and you couldn't help but ask. How do you know about that? Athena's smirk grows. Oh, that's because she pauses for a dramatic effect. It's me who removed the footage. The confession hits you like a punch to the gut. Your heart races and a mixture of disbelief and anger churns inside you. Why would you do that? You demand, your voice trembling with emotion. Because I exchanged the files of yesterday's meeting. You couldn't believe what you heard just now. Why did you do so? What do you gain from this? It's not just about my gains, it's about Jungkook's gains as well. You look at her, confusion etched on your face. What do you mean by that? He was fed up with you being his secretary, and if you don't know, then let me tell you, he has feelings for me. And he wanted me as his secretary, so he himself made all this plan to remove you from your position. Her words hits you like a truck. You unconsciously shake your head in negligence. No, you are definitely lying. Mr. Jeon can't do so. Really? Don't you know that no random person can get access to the security footage? It's highly official and only boss has the clearance to handle it. Your mind races as you try to piece together her words. What are you trying to say? You shouted, your frustration growing. Athena leans in a bit before saying, what I am saying is, only Jungkook had the authority to handle or remove the footage. My access was not enough to bypass the security protocols. If the footage was tampered with, it was done under his direct orders or with his knowledge. The revelation hits you like a cold wave. Are you implying that Jungkook knew about this and this was his plan all along? You ask, your voice is barely above a whisper. Yes, it's his plan. It's unbelievable, but it's also true. Because getting access to the security footage is highly official. No random person could manage that. You feel a wave of frustration and confusion wash over you. But why Mr. Jeon would do this? If he was unhappy with me being his secretary, why go through such extreme measures? He could have just fired me directly. This also indirectly affected his dream project. Why risk so much? You asked, desperate for answers. He was fed up with the way things were, and sometimes when people are desperate or frustrated, they make decisions that seem extreme. It's his way of handling things. You were collateral damage in his eyes, a means to an end for what he perceived as the greater good. But this way he risked everything, his project, his reputation. You don't know him, he is the biggest businessman. He can manage to get back the collaborators and recover from this. The gravity of her statement hits you hard, and tears you have been holding back finally spill over, streaming down your cheeks. The realization that Jungkook, someone you trusted and admired, could be behind this scheme is devastating. You feel a mix of betrayal and frustration. Thinking deeply, it becomes clear, despite how unbelievable it seems, that Jungkook is behind the whole scheme. You feel a deep sense of hurt, but anger quickly rises within you. With a determined shake of your head, you wipe away your tears and make up your mind to confront Jungkook. You turn around to go to his office. Athena watches you leaving with a smirk, clearly enjoying the drama unfolding.